Hello, how are you?
I'm good, yourself?
I'm doing good. How do we pronounce your name? Is it QAIS?
Yeah, thanks, exactly.
Ah, that's really cool. So we are going to speak for our 10 minutes, and then at the end, I will give you feedback. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's okay, but can I say something, please? So I'm really advanced in English, so I was watching TikTok for you, and I noticed that a couple of times you mentioned like Arabic speakers, they do this wrong, they pronounce this wrong, they have difficulty with this sound. So I'm wondering, do you offer um, accent reduction lessons?
Ooh, that's a really good question. So I do make videos on YouTube to help with accent reduction and to I guess to mimic or to parrot me. Um, right now, I currently don't give one-on-one classes, like paid classes, but I did in the past, and I probably will restart maybe in June.
Okay, so in June, because this is what I'm really interested in, because I live in Virginia in the U.S. and I've been here living for 2 years. So I'm more interested in accent reduction and in other, because I'm already advanced in the language. I have a master from the U.S. and everything. So if you want me to go back to your website in June and check again, no problem. But do you have an idea how much you charge for this? Because here in the US, if you want to get a speech pathologist, they are really expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I usually charge, well, it depends on the season. If I do not have a job in June, I will most likely charge only $40 American for 50 minutes, so about an hour.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
That works for me.
Yeah.
Because here they charge like $200 an hour. It's crazy, I think, because they have license and something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, and the speech pathologist or speech therapist, it's kind of a little bit different, but yeah, it's expensive. $200 American per hour is a lot.
No, you can help if you are familiar with the sounds like Arabic speakers usually have difficulty in. I'm sure you can help. You can help me with this.
Yeah, we could definitely in June, so I'm talking to everyone else. In June, I will send an email if I start giving lessons. So if you check your emails and you're on my email list, which I think you are if you signed up, I will let people know if I start giving lessons again.
Okay, that's great. That's great. That's what I wanted to ask you.
Yeah. But in the meantime, are there any words or sounds that you struggle with?
You know, I struggle. Yeah, I struggle with maybe 10 or something sounds, because I got a review like a year ago from another accent reduction trainer here in the US, and they mentioned the flat T. You know, here in the US, how the T between the vowels they become D. Sometimes I don't get that right. The dark L sometimes, uh, people here understand me. I have never been, like someone said, "Excuse me, what did you say?" Never happened to me. But personally, I want to reduce my accent as much as I can.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and like sometimes, oh, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
I don't know if it's always possible to 100% eliminate it, but yeah, it's a good goal to. I know I like to reduce my accent in other languages, so that's really cool.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be elimination. No, it cannot be eliminated. It would be difficult. But reducing it as much as possible, it's. I think that's great for me.
Okay.
Yes. By the way, I lived in Montreal for 6 months.
You?
You are in? Yeah.
For me, no, I'm not in Montreal. No.
Okay. Because you mentioned something about Quebec, right?
Yeah, so I currently live in the province of Quebec. But I don't say where exactly, but I live in the province of Quebec, and yes, Montreal is a city in Quebec.
Oh yeah. Because I did French there, like in 2010, for 1 year, and then I moved. It was a great course, but their French was difficult for me. I don't know. It was really different.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, the Quebec accent
Yes.
is definitely different. Did you study at, if it's not too personal, which university did you study at?
Here in the U.S., the master's degree was in California. There's a place called Middlebury Institute of International Studies. It's in Monterey, California. It's a small city close to San Francisco. So I did international policy studies with emphasis in conflict resolution and international negotiations.
Okay. Cool. And then in Montreal, where did you study in Montreal?
Well, in Montreal, I studied at, there's a place called Platon College. It's for French courses.
Mm.
I did 9, I think. I lived with a French family in Montreal. My French has improved a lot ever since, but I'm not used to the Quebecois accent. That's why. It's easier French, Paris, and France than to the Quebecois. They speak fast. So, I cannot understand everything as in French.
Yeah. Even sometimes when people come from France, they will come here in the first week. They're like, "What? I don't understand." That's funny. Oh.
So in this case, check back with you again in I don't know, in June, or you will send email if you are offering.
Yes, I will send. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yes,
okay,
I'll send.
That would be great.
Yeah, I'll send an email if I start again. But I think some of my followers know I'm pregnant, so I don't know how much I can continue. But I'll let you guys know. I'll let you know. I'll send the email out when and if I restart, which I think is in June. It might happen. That sound good?
That's perfect. Yes.
Perfect. So we have about like 2 Pardon?
Do you have any questions for me?
I'd like to know, if it's not too personal, where are you from? Which country?
I'm originally from Yemen, but I was born and raised in Saudi Arabia. So I lived all my life, and my wife too, in Saudi Arabia. Then we moved here to the US 2 years ago.
Okay.
Like we are a card holder, so we are resident here now.
Okay. That's
really
cool.
But of my life is in Saudi Arabia, like 35 years of my life in Saudi Arabia.
Oh wow! What would you say is the biggest, like, cultural shock when you came to live in the United States from Saudi Arabia?
Actually, the culture shock happened to me in 2007 when I started my graduate program. So by 2009, I had already lived in the US 2 years, but the cultural shock probably is one I remember is because we call, when we talk to elderly people, we usually say Mr. We never call them by first name, for example. And I would make this mistake a lot with the college professors. And in the first 3 months, I could not say it without saying Mr. So they usually say, "Don't call us Mr. Just call me by my first name." Don't. But the first 3 months, then I discover it's really easy, and there's nothing attached to disrespect, because in the Arabic culture, it's really offensive when you call someone he's elderly and you never use like a respect title or something. So this one I remember very well. And the life itself, it was, the Americans and the Canadians too, they live a very easy life. They are very friendly with people and learners of English and students in general. So I think the formality was the most shocking for me. I did not about it. I read about other things, but this one I did not read about. So when I faced it, it was I couldn't do it. But then now usually, it's okay for me. I call people by first name, and no offense is taken. It's easy.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think a lot of people from outside of Canada, when they come, it's like a shock. They're like, I can call you by your first name. It's like, yeah. Yeah. All right. So we've done actually just over 10 minutes. The time went by fast. So I think you see correctly. I'm just gonna double check on my. There we go.
Yeah, I do.
Good. I'm going to write down some mistakes I heard, and then see if you can see where the English mistake is. You may or may not know, but the more you practice, like if you were to see me again, the easier it is, and you'll start self-correcting. So I'm just gonna write it down. Okay, so I heard you say this in the beginning. You said, I've been here living for 2 years.
Oh yeah, I've been here for 2 years.
Yeah, I've been living here for 2 years. Yeah, exactly. So I've been living here for 2 years. Good. Next, do you want me to write it out all the time?
No, it's okay. You can tell me to. You can say it to me.
Okay. Some of them I'll write down. Some of them I'll say. You told me that. You said, I have a master degree in the USA. I have a master degree. There's one little sound that we're missing.
Okay, so what's the mistake?
I would say master's degree. Yeah, with an S. I'm just gonna double check. Maybe I'm just used to saying that, but a master's degree, yeah.
Yeah, you need to process it.
Because we say like bachelor's degree, master's degree. Then you had talked about how you speak to people in the United States, and you said that nobody asked you to repeat. And you said, it never happened to me. It never happened to me.
Yeah. Oh, it never. All right. It should be ED. Yeah.
Yeah. So it never happened to me. Or if you were talking in the present, you could say it never happens to me. But you were talking in the past. Yeah. So it never happened to me. Good. And you're really good in English. I had to work really hard to try and find mistakes. That's
You're
really
good at catching mistakes.
I practice a lot. And then you asked me, we'll send about the lessons. You asked me, you will send email.
Oh, yeah. We will send an email.
Yeah, an email. Yeah. So for those watching and listening to the replay, you can say, will you send an email? But you are verifying, and that's fine. You will send an email. Good. And I think that's pretty much it. Good job, QAIS.